Back.
Alright. Alright guys, welcome back to Relegation Battle. Today we're discussing the top 10 Premier League strikers. So we've all pretty much ranked top 10, assign each points for each position and come up with a collective now. So 9 and 10th, both from the same amount of points. Calvert-Lewin, Bobby Firmino. They both got on there. I mean, I believe Tom, you put in Calvert-Lewin of one uplift. I think Jay was the other one.
I didn't put in
any.
I didn't put in any of them.
Oh, Jack put him in, and I believe Jay was the other one. So I mean, Jack, we'll start with you. What was your thinking behind him?
Well, it was more of a. I didn't know who was to pick. No, when I watch him, I actually like the way he plays. I mean, sometimes he does a bit, but I actually like the way he plays. I think he's a good player. Yeah. And I did. My thinking was, I did my first 9, and I was a bit struggling on the 10th. Didn't know quite who to pick, and I was looking through, and I saw him. I was like, actually, I do like him. I think he's a good player. So that was my reasoning.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, I believe Ty put in Giroud. You're a Chelsea fan. Tom, you bring Chris Wood. But Jay, what made you pick Calvert-Lewin over those kind of players?
I just think he's just promising. I think he done well in the season. And like when I was thinking of names at the moment, would be in like a top 10. Kind of just came up, and I thought to myself, more than anything, I think he just deserves to be in there from what he's done for Everton this year. So
yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm the only one who actually voted for Firmino because I put him quite high on mine, not quite happy in the middle of mine. He's actually somehow gotten there with Calvert-Lewin. Like we were talking about just now, the Henderson thing. Like Firmino probably doesn't fit any other system in the league because he is kind of a unique role that he plays in the Klopp system. But like I say, it doesn't matter because he only plays for Liverpool, and like the role he plays in that team is so vital for them. Because you see, when Origi starts, it's not the same. And although he hasn't got the amount of goals every Premier League team wants from their striker, it quite simply doesn't matter because Salah and Mane are both banging like 20 a season, and pretty much all of it comes from out wide. It's just getting the ball there, which Firmino does. So that's why I put him that high up.
Yeah, next one. Fair now thinking about it, I should have put Firmino in number 10.
Yeah, I was close to putting him. I think he's a really techie player. Like, he's technical, but he's good. I feel like, I know you said if you take him out and put Origi in, Origi don't have the same impact, but that's Origi. I mean,
yeah.
The other players in me personally, I'm more like old school. Whereas your striker, that is your goal scorer, that is your main output. I always like a typical finisher, goal scorer, and that's not him. So I kept him out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Next one, we all had him around the same position. Richarlison. Ty, I mean, you know what it's like to play for your team under Ancelotti. Do you think Richarlison can hit new levels now?
Yeah, definitely. Because when Ancelotti was our manager in 2010, Drogba had his best goal scoring season. I think it was 29 goals.
29, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they are similar strikers. Obviously, Drogba was better, but I think their play styles are very similar. So I can see Richarlison hitting new heights.
And Jack, we talked about in just the episode there, and we all discussed how Everton was like a team that could push on to maybe top 6 position. Do you think? I mean, we brought Calvert-Lewin just on the list as well. So we've put both Everton strikers on that top 10 list. To feel like, how do you think they can work together like that?
I think they have like a good partnership together. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying Calvert-Lewin's slow, but Richarlison's got that directness in behind, over the top, and Calvert-Lewin's going to win most headers.
Yeah.
So it's like they play off each other, kind of like the old school fashioned. Oh, you win it, I'll flick. Oh, you flick on, I'll run behind. So I think they can help each other.
Yeah.
And like, I know we're going. I took a little bit, but like, that's why they could push. I know they've got better midfield now, but them two together could push Everton that bit further than needed for that top 6.
Yeah, and then so now we got up to that was 8. So 7th on the list, Danny Ings. That Tom Ings has been like injury ridden for pretty much most of his career now. Didn't quite work out at Liverpool, but last season at Southampton, he really just hit the ground running. Second in the top scoring list, 22 goals, I believe. Finally got his first in club in about 4 years, I believe. Managed to get a couple minutes in. What for you made him think, oh yeah, you know what? He is top 10 when he's fit.
Well, I've always believed that Dannings is a quality striker, but no one really gets it because I talk about Kane and Aguero getting injuries. He's probably had the worst injury record out of any striker in recent years. For the ability he has. We really saw how much of a good finisher he is. He's up with the best when it comes to finishing. There's probably other games that other parts of his game that isn't as good as the top 5, but I think he deserves to be in the top 10 because he nearly got top goal scorer last season with a team like Southampton, and he say what you want, but in my opinion, he saved them from relegation, and he didn't just save him. He took him from relegation battle to a mid-table team. He took him well safe. I think he was unlucky at Liverpool because whether he didn't suit the style, but even if he did or didn't, he got injured for too long. It just affected him. He needed that move. And even when he went to Southampton, I think he did get injured again. But this season he kept fit and he showed what he can do. And he's a prolific goal scorer. He's a brilliant finisher. So I think he deserves to be in the top 10.
That was number 7. Then the last one before being top 5, Raul Jimenez. He's been at Wolves for 2 seasons, I want to say, maybe 3. He's been there pretty much out and out goal scorer. He's played so many games for them because they don't have a backup. Jay, what do you make of Jimenez, and do you think he can still provide more for Wolves?
Yeah, I think he can definitely provide more for Wolves. I think his link up with Adama Traore, you saw after post lockdown, and they started again with saving them from games and helping them win. And I just think Jimenez is one of those strikers who's a bit troublesome in the box. He's a striker that centre backs kind of, because he's quite physical, and like we said, the Premier League is quite a physical league, and when you get a striker like that and he's good at finishing, I think he definitely can get better, and he can definitely provide a lot more for Wolves in the season.
Well, that's the 6th to 10th place. Now is really where it gets a bit more, let's say, intense. So 5th place finished 10 points above Jimenez in our rankings. Anthony Martial. Jack, Martial hasn't hit the immediate heights he thought he would. Still hasn't hit that 20 goal mark yet. Just about. He just beat his 11 goal record last season. Do you think 5th's too low for him?
Yeah, you say all that,
Jack
but
don't like one player above him.
He's played most of his time on left wing. As
Yeah.
a left winger on hardly any games. You bring up the game. Actually, I say hardly any. His minutes are so low in those years. I think that last season he scored, not this, but the season before. It might be the season before that. He scored 8 goals, but his minutes were so low just because Jose would never start him. He brought in Sanchez, limited his game time. In his first season in the Prem, 19 years old, striker scored, I think, 11 or 12 goals. And he got 17 this year. So he's definitely improving. That's what just his all-round plays. He can do everything. He can hold up the ball, can finish, he can shoot from outside the box. He's just an all-round great goal scorer and a great striker. Not great. I didn't mean to say great goal scorer. He's a great striker.
Yeah, and he's got a text as well. I think the one you're upset about is Timo Werner being above him in the list.
I was more
Timo
worried
Werner
about.
said he finished.
That's not the one I was most annoyed about. But carry on.
What was the one you were annoyed about then?
No, I don't carry on.
I'll tell you what. Werner finished 4 points above Martial in these rankings I put. Jay, you put Werner very high in yours, at least second, in fact. Yet to play in the Premier League, obviously, but why made you put him second?
I said I'd explain it, but it's I just feel when you're talking about strikers in that list, I think Werner has done so much for Leipzig, and he was like like so decisive, like in front of goal and stuff like that. And I just feel like if you're looking at this like that, I know it's like different leagues and everything, but from my perspective, like not looking at what he could do in the league now, just from like seasons and stuff before, I just feel like Werner is definitely within like. It was hard, like I don't think he's above like everyone. I just thought I'd put him quite high because of what he'd done at Leipzig. I just feel like he'd done a lot for a team, and they're not the best team in the world. They have like a couple of players that are good and everything, but I mean, like, I don't know how you get like 35 or something like that goals. I know that's like in all competitions or whatever, but like just to me that just said something about it. And he's coming into what I'd say is somewhat of a better team, so. And he's got a lot of people around him who can provide for him better than most players can. And I think he just definitely is a lot higher than certain players, just based off of what I've seen of him so far.
You put him above Aguero and Kane, bruv.
Yeah, but
I don't
the reason I've done
understand
that is just for the moment. Is like Aguero has been injured most of the season. You haven't really seen
Right.
him much. Same as Kane. It's not. I'm not saying that he's all time better than him.
We
Like,
were saying it on pure ability. Like, we know how good they all are.
To be fair,
No,
Aguero
but
ain't the same striker.
I haven't seen them do it in a year, so I'm not going to make that.
Shut up.
I'm not doing it. I haven't seen them do it in a year. If we're talking about right
Kane
now,
was injured for like 3 months, and he got like 18 goals in the league. Like, how are you putting him above Werner, above Kane and Aguero? It's not even just Kane; it's Aguero as well.
yeah, but just based. I'm told you,
They
like,
are
it's just
world-class strikers.
Yeah, but I'm basing it off now, right now. I haven't seen Kane or Aguero do anything for a long time. I'm basing it off right now. They're quality strikers, but it's like Aubameyang. Aubameyang is right now. Would you say Aubameyang is better than Kane? Like altogether.
Would I say Aubameyang's better than Kane?
Yeah.
No, I think Kane's better, but I put Aubameyang
Yeah, that's
second.
what I mean. But right now, Aubameyang is the best, in my opinion,
Yeah,
just based off the fact that he's scoring all these goals. And he has such a high record in games. That's what I mean with Werner. No, but I mean, but Werner's done so much in a team that's not exactly fantastic. And right now, I haven't seen it. I'm not saying, like, that could change really quickly. I'm not saying it's cemented and Werner is better than them or whatever. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying from what I've seen right now and everything, I would put him higher just based on the fact that he's doing it now and I haven't seen it from like Kane for like a while. It's not like me saying, oh, he's 100% better than them, because it could have been any other way.
Well, I know he's not 100% better than him. I just think I just can't see anyone putting Werner above him, just because I don't think Werner's world class, but I think he's got a potential, and we're going to find out, because the Bundesliga ain't as good as Prem. This year we'll find. Well, to be honest, it's a bit harsh to say this year. I'd say in the next 2 years, because you can't just expect Werner to come in and hit running. He's got to get used to it. I'd expect him to have a better second half of the season, if I'm honest. But I would say that Kane and Aguero is better than him, just because they're known to be world class strikers. Like they're at the top, whereas Werner is just getting to that. And this move to Chelsea is to determine whether he is going to be world class or not, in my opinion.
No, but I'm just basing it off the now more than anything. Like just from now. It's not like saying he's 100% better or like he is better. It's just off the now right now.
Did anyone else put Werner above
Definitely not.
Kane or Aguero?
No, Jay put Werner the highest, like comfortably.
Jack put Martial above Werner.
Well, here's the thing, Ty. When
I think
Tom said that,
go on,
Jack, go on.
Before we started filming, Tyree said that he thinks Martial and Werner are like on the same level.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I only put Martial above him because I'm a Man United fan, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I don't rate Werner. Werner's a brilliant striker, and I agree with Tyree. They're probably around the same at the moment, because Werner, you can't say. I know he's done well for Leipzig, and you can say league, but it's not in the Premier League yet. So that's why I would say they're on like par. And I only put Martial ahead because he's a Man United player.
All right, I'll say this to Jay. Jay, who do you think's better, Martial or Werner?
right now.
Your
who's
instinct is
better?
Werner.
Werner.
100%. Like, there's no, because with Kane, you
hate
sort of
Martial.
debated it, but with Werner, with Martial, it must be different then. Because if you're rating Werner better
but
than
like you
Kane
said,
or Aguero,
yeah.
he must be better, like quite a bit better than Martial then.
The only reason I say that is because, like you said, when I think of striker, I don't think of I think of the goal scoring aspect and like what they're doing mostly. That's why I never put Firmino in and stuff like that. Like when I think of Martial's had a good season, but I just mean for me, Werner is more straight to
the finisher.
Yeah, like a straightforward. Like I say, like Vardy. Vardy is quite straightforward. Doesn't do all these skills and anything. It's just get to the goal and score, which is something I think it's just best.
All right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, what I was going to ask Ty is, when Tom said Werner wasn't world class, he did put a bit of a face there. Do you disagree with that?
To be fair, after he explained it, then I understand what he said more. But I think Werner's a world-class finisher, but he's not a world-class striker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's parts of his game that he does need to improve. Like maybe his link-up play sometimes. Like from what I saw in the friendly, sometimes it could have been a little bit better, but it was also good at times. So
he drops really
He's come to the
deep
best
as well.
league. He's come to the best league to test how good he is. Put it that way, because he'll be tested in all types of ability. Because in the Premier League, you won't get it your own way. You got to work around the problem. Whereas in Bundesliga, it's don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a farmers league, but it ain't too much far off it, to be honest. Because it's not as competitive as the Prem.
Yeah. Well, we're down to top three now. So Werner's fourth, Martial's fifth. So between the top three, 1 point separate all of them. So the tie for second place.
We ain't said Vardy.
It was Vardy not in there.
Hang on, lads.
He must be. I was gonna say.
When I pulled that face and it wasn't Werner, that's what I thought of Vardy. But then as we were talking about
lads,
Werner,
I forgot Vardy. What counts points? It's too late now. It's too late to back out now.
It'd probably be about fifth anyway.
We'll probably be around the same mark as those two.
Yeah,
well,
he's like Martial. He's around Martial.
Yeah.
Lower, no.
Allow it. No, he's not.
Didn't he win did he win the golden boot?
Yeah, Day.
Fuck off.
All right. So the person who finished first got 45 points, then both second got 44 points. The first person who got second was Sergio Aguero. Now, personally, for me, I put Aguero first on my list because I think he's the best striker in the league when fully fit. I think he can finish from anywhere. He can dribble past players. What can't he do though?
Who would you rather have? If you needed a 90th minute goal, Tom?
I think first.
Yeah, I'm picking Kane. He's the best finisher.
I am 100% not picking Kane for a 90th minute goal.
To be fair, he could have sweated it to Sterling that time.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. What, you just going to bring that up? All right, let me say my thing about Aguero. I'm not saying you're wrong, right? Because I think I'm actually surprised, Joel, that you haven't said Aubameyang second. Or I don't know, Aubameyang first for you personally, because I would somewhat agree with that. The reason why I won't say Aguero because he's only got one goal boot in his career in the Premier League for Man City, who is so dominant and has had the best attack in every year except from last year, right? Kane has been at Tottenham, right? We have had a good attack, but nowhere near Man City's. Kane was dominating him on the top goal scorers thing. You can say Aguero got injured, but so did Kane. And only recently they've both been getting injured, so they're both
but here's my point though. Who are your strikers? Just Kane.
Yeah, it was
Aguero
just
has had competition there with Edin Dzeko. He's had
but then that will help him. That will also help him.
Yeah, but he wouldn't get as many minutes.
Every game.
He wouldn't get as many minutes.
He mostly does play every game anyway. Kane don't play every game because he gets injured.
No. Aguero literally banged a hat-trick and Pep will still be like, cool, I'm playing Jesus now. It'll be simple as that for Pep.
He don't do that a lot. You're making it big because I get he does change the team a lot, but he doesn't change Aguero a lot. He has, but he doesn't do it a lot. So I don't think that's very
Yeah,
fair
like
to say
it's
that.
close between like Aguero and Kane. Like Aguero's goal scoring record is unbelievable. Like I think he's like really third or fourth, like top 5 in Premier League all time maybe. I
Yeah,
do think
but he
Kane's going to
has
break
been in
the
the
record
league
one
for
day.
ages.
Yeah, no, I think Kane will break it one day as
Got
well.
more
But
goals than Henry.
yeah, exactly. Aguero, like for me, Aguero is up there with Henry in terms of Premier
Yeah,
League all-time great
Definitely.
because
he
he is
is.
a phenomenal
100%.
striker, and I think he just offers more than Kane to me on the pitch. Finishing, fair enough, Kane is probably the best in the league. For me, I do want more than that in a striker. I think Aguero just offers more in all the other departments. So when you take it all into
All
like,
the other.
okay, what
Yeah, but
Kane-
he does everything. He like
Yeah,
plays.
Kane does most stuff. He
Yeah, I
comes
know.
deep.
yeah, but I'm saying Aguero is better in my opinion in all the other ones.
I don't know. I just feel like the fact that he plays for a better team. He attack. He literally they attack all the time. Even against Liverpool, they're most likely to dominate possession more. And every time they were both fit, and in a golden boot race, Kane has beaten him every single time. Aguero's
I
only.
think-
What is baffling me for Aguero is he's only got one golden boot in all the years he's been at City. I don't think that's personally good enough.
It's
I
because
would
of
have
his injuries.
expected him. Yeah, but then Kane's had injuries as well. Kane got like 2 or 3 back-to-back golden boots.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, you also put Aguero top of your list, I believe. What made you put him
Like,
there?
like you said, when they're both fully fit, there's not a better striker in the league than Aguero.
This is just simple as that.
Yeah, it's
I
simple
mean,
as that.
it's not as simple as that because I'm not
It
saying you're
is.
wrong. No, it's not because then that's unfair on Aubameyang and Kane because if you're saying it's as simple as that, or it's done and dusted, then all of us
No,
should
it's close
have
between
Aguero.
Aguero and Kane, but Aubameyang doesn't.
Well,
No,
so it's not
Aubameyang,
simple
no,
then, is it? You just
no.
said, nah, it's
But
light work.
no,
That's it.
no. If they're fit,
Tom's getting
it's
super
not like
angry.
ooh, I go straight there.
Triggered.
Like it's close, but I go straight there. Aubameyang doesn't get 4 in my head.
Really?
You're not.
To be honest,
What?
I agree.
If you
Like, I love
if you
Aubameyang.
go
I
to
love
me,
Aubameyang so
best
much.
striker
Yeah.
in the league, the first name I don't go is Aubameyang. It's either Kane or Aguero.
That's true.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I love Aubameyang so much. Like I want him to stay desperately. Right now, he is up there right now with one like as the best striker in the league.
Probably
But
best
if we're
striker in the
talking
league right
fully
now.
fit, I
Has he
can't think
signed
of
a new
anyone
contract?
better than Sergio Aguero.
Did you say
I've
it, Ty?
never heard an Arsenal fan
Has
fucking
Aubameyang
say
signed
that,
a
to
new
be honest.
contract?
No, not yet. He will. He
The
will.
report today, like 250K a week, like ESPN was saying it's been agreed. But
ESPN's so shit now. They don't know what they're
mm,
about.
What do you
yeah,
mean
for
now?
me, like
ESPN and Sky
Aguero is the best.
Sports.
But to talk about Aubameyang now, he was tied second with Aguero on 44 points, which Kane won. I mean, Jay, I believe you were the only one to put Aubameyang first on your list, and you already said
Yeah,
you think he's the best right now. But what makes him the best for you?
I just think I like from what I've seen of him. I mean, I don't watch him all the time, of course, but like from what I've seen of him, he's put out wide, yeah, and he is like a striker in it, but he's put out wide and then he's made to adapt. And I just think in every like aspect of his game, like he's so like there was like big question marks when he came to the league about whether he'd do good. But like his goal scoring record since he's come, there was only like one of the fastest people to get to like 50 goals or something like that. I just feel like he's efficient in front of goal.
He has the
goal.
best. He has the best goal scoring since he's come.
Yeah, like I just think right now, like when we faced you in the FA Cup final, like my first thing was if like one like as soon as Pulisic got injured, I was like, we haven't got like an attacking outlet. Like Aubameyang can quite happily rip into our defence, and like that was just like a first thought. Like when I think about best striker in the league right now, like I would say form and everything, it'd be him, just because he is someone who your team would fear to come up against and stuff like that right now. Like no disrespect to like Kane or Aguero, of course, but I just mean right now, his efficiency in like front of goal and like how he is and how he plays and like I'm not trying to be rude to Arsenal, but not in a fantastic team is
Yeah,
mental.
no,
Like, if he had like a better team around him, he could be hitting like Salah's like record and then 32 goals. But I mean, like he'd have to have like a proper improved team or whatever. But I mean, like
yeah,
I just think he has the potential to do like, a lot. Like, he has the potential to be really, really, really good. Like he's very good right now. But if he was put in like a team with better players, I think he could do like double it.
Yeah, like I agree with you. Like when we early in the season, we still like Emery and Lundberg, he was still scoring those goals, and like I think every Arsenal fan would say he is way too good for us at that point. I think now that Arteta, we are improving as a team. Pepe's improved massively. Saka's like made even bigger strides now. Lacazette's starting to be like a hold-up striker rather than the out-and-out striker he was. So I think he is still getting better. But right now, I would agree with Jason. He's the best in the league right now. But like Jack said, if everyone's fit, is he right up there? Like Ty, what do you think? Does Aubameyang challenge these guys right now? Like we're talking right now.
If they're all fit and they stay fit, I think he challenges them, but I don't think but he doesn't score more goals. That's the thing. Like if they're all fit, he'll be close to them. But then I reckon Aguero or Kane would win the Golden Boot.
I think he'd have to drop form. He'd have to drop form really, really, really bad to fall out of like a challenge between them three.
Yeah,
so if you talk about these like fitness thing, is it not like another? What's the word? It's not like another boost for him almost that his injury record, fitness record is so good that he's barely missed a game of the last, I think, 7 seasons from injury just because it's so good. Is that not like another testament to him?
Well, on keeping fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can argue that, but you could also argue that Arsenal ain't stupid and has a bad fucking backup in striker, whereas Tottenham don't. I mean, I've seen games where he has been on the bench a couple of times. They've played Lacazette over him, like, and even in Europe, he wouldn't play and he'd be on the bench. Whereas for someone like Kane, he literally has to play every single game, whether it's Europe or Prem.
Who is your backup striker?
Who, us?
Yeah.
We don't have one. We haven't had one in 3 years. That's what I'm saying. Kane has to play every minute of every game. He has to then go to England, internationally, play every fucking game, every minute of every fucking game. He has to play every game. And that don't help him. You say about Aguero having to be rotated or gets rotated sometimes. I wish we could have that for Kane, because then he wouldn't get injured, or there'd be less chance.
Well, we'll talk about Kane now. He is number 1. So Aubameyang and Aguero on 44 points, Kane on 45. Tom, we'll talk about his finishing. Is his finishing just levels above everyone else that you think that easy number 1?
I wouldn't say levels because I think that's harsh, but I think he has the best finishing. There's only one other finisher out there that I think is on par or better than his, and that's Lewandowski's. And that's worldwide. So I'm saying Kane is one of the best, or you could argue he is the best. He's in the conversation for one of the world's best strikers, finishers right now. I'd probably say maybe Lewandowski's a little bit better on recent form. That by the way, that's excluding Ronaldo.
Okay.
All right, we don't really. I mean, Ronaldo's Ronaldo. You know,
That point.
we're talking about striker. I mean, technically, Ronaldo's he's a winger. I mean, he's been put in striker, but he's always been a winger. He's just so good he can do it. But I think Kane is either first or second best finisher in the world, let alone. That's why I think he's the best in the league, finishing wise.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, do you agree that Kane's the best finisher in the league? We know like he Aguero is like the better striker, but do you agree that Kane's the best finisher?
Yeah, I think going back to I remember going watching that FA Cup final, and I can't remember if it was before Pulisic scored or after, but Aubameyang got played through by David Luiz and he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he hits it straight at him. It's like Aubameyang has to have a sighter before he scores. I know a lot of strikers do, and Kane probably has that as well. But Aubameyang, I feel like, always has to have a shot before he scores. Whereas someone like Kane or Aguero can score with their first shot. And to answer your question, he's probably the best finisher in the league. He's the best finisher in the league.
Jay, I know you have really strong feelings about Chelsea, probably Kane as well. But where does he rank for you among these strikers?
Kane?
Yeah. I mean, let me check where you put him.
He put him fucking. He put him
You put Kane
third.
third,
Yeah, and Aguero fourth.
Aguero fourth. So does he just lack that other areas? Would you say?
I put him high. I'm not saying like I said, if I'm basing it, I was basing it more off now, but like fully fit. I mean, he's definitely up there as like the 1 or 2 spot. Definitely like him, Aguero, Aubameyang. They're all class strikers, but Kane is definitely like fighting at the 1 spot because he's an amazing like striker. There's no doubt in that. You can't lie to yourself and pretend he's not. So I put him like 1 or 2. It just depends.
Put him third, mate.
No, I know.
You literally put Werner second.
No, I mean but I'm basing that off of what I'm seeing now. You asked for it now.
No,
why don't you put Ings? Why don't you put Ings number 1?
Yeah, exactly. Ings is number
Ings
1.
or Vardy? Ings or Vardy number 1 because they scored more goals.
I don't even rate Vardy that much anymore.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is even if they don't
you don't
play,
rate Vardy.
But I mean, like even if
Ings
isn't playing now, he'll never reach the heights that like Kane and Aguero can in one season. Whereas my argument for Werner was, although he didn't do it in the Premier League, he still got 35 or however many goals in
all
the Bundesliga.
Competitions. How many did he get in Bundesliga?
I don't know. Do we check?
24, wasn't it?
Fuck knows.
I don't know. He's meant to be your striker. I'd have known that if he was coming to Tottenham.
I don't know. I just know what he got overall. I think
28.
28.
28.
That is a good tally.
I would have won the Golden Boot in England if he got 28 this season.
Yeah. See, it's
he done well in the
like.
Champions League as well.
Yeah.
But I do see the point.
Tottenham, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think. Yeah, he did. No, that's a penalty though.
Oh, okay.
Goal's a goal, mate. Oh,
yeah, no,
Bruno.
I'm just saying it should. No, it is a goal. Is a goal. I was just saying.
We say, Jay?
Wow.
What?
How many penalties did United have last season?
All right, let's wrap that up before it gets even longer than that because it's about to end as well. So we've got Kane, Aubameyang, Aguero, Werner, Martial, Jimenez, Ings, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and then Firmino. Vardy's in the middle somewhere. That was my bad. I forgot him. But next time maybe we'll do midfielders, see where Bruno ranks in that. For now, have a nice.
I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we sit down and just say what's going on. I think we should say